Most people think they're in control. They wake up. They go to work. They make choices. They speak their mind. And yet, their mood is decided by a message. Their confidence is decided by someone else's tone. Their peace is decided by circumstances they didn't choose. That isn't control. That's reaction dressed up as freedom. And if you don't see it yet, that's because it's quiet. The most dangerous traps don't feel like cages. They feel normal. You were never meant to be this reactive. But somewhere along the way, you were trained to respond to everything. Every notification. Every opinion. Every slight. Every delay. Every inconvenience. You call it being human. The world calls it predictable. Because the truth is simple and uncomfortable: if someone can provoke you, they can control you. If something can disturb you, it owns you. And most people are owned all day long. They believe control means having strong opinions, strong emotions, strong reactions. They believe control is dominance, loudness, certainty. But watch closely. The angriest person in the room is never the most powerful. The loudest voice is usually the most fragile. The most offended person is the easiest to manipulate. Because reaction is not strength. Reaction is exposure. Every time you snap back, every time you defend yourself unnecessarily, every time you spiral internally while smiling on the outside, you hand your authority to the moment. You let the external world reach inside and rearrange you. That is not living. That is being lived through. The world loves people like this. Reactive people buy more. Argue more. Consume more. Explain themselves more. They are easier to steer. Easier to distract. Easier to exhaust. Noise keeps them busy. Emotion keeps them obedient. And they never notice the leash, because it's made of feelings. Here is the axis everything turns on. Not what happens to you. Not who wronged you. Not how unfair it was. But how you respond. That single space, between stimulus and response, is where your entire life is decided. Most people never enter it. They live in reflex. In habit. In impulse. They don't choose their reactions. Their reactions choose for them. That's why your mind feels crowded. It's not because life is harder than before. It's because you've allowed too many things access to you. Too many voices. Too many judgments. Too many emotional hooks. Your attention is fractured. Your inner world is crowded. And anything crowded becomes chaotic. Calm doesn't disappear on its own. It is pushed out. Emotion itself is not the enemy. Stoicism never asked you to feel nothing. It asked you to feel without surrendering command. Emotion is a signal. A message. A weather report. But most people don't read the report. They obey it. Anger says, react, and they react. Fear says, avoid, and they obey. Desire says, chase, and they run. And slowly, quietly, they lose the ability to decide. The cost shows up later. In relationships damaged by words that couldn't be taken back. In opportunities lost because pride needed the last word. In self-respect eroded by moments you wish you handled differently. Not dramatic failures. Small ones. Daily ones. The kind that shape who you become. Now understand this, calm is not weakness. Calm is insulation. It keeps the world from reaching places it doesn't belong. A calm person sees more. Thinks clearer. Moves with precision. While others burn energy reacting, the calm individual conserves it. And energy conserved becomes power. Real power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't rush. It doesn't explain. It doesn't need to be seen winning. It waits. And when action is required, it acts cleanly, without emotion clouding judgment. This is why silence unnerves people. Because silence can't be provoked. There is a moment, small, almost invisible, where freedom lives. The pause. That brief space after something happens, but before you respond. Most people skip it. They fill it with habit. But that pause is the muscle. That pause is the training ground. That pause is where you reclaim command. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You will want to react. To correct. To defend. To strike back. And choosing not to will feel like weakness. It isn't. It is restraint. And restraint is strength that has learned patience. When you practice this long enough, something shifts. The world stays loud, but it no longer enters you. People test you, and find no handle. Chaos surrounds you, but does not command you. You become difficult to disturb. And what cannot be disturbed cannot be controlled. Here is the final truth. No one else is responsible for your reactions. Not your past. Not your stress. Not their behavior. Responsibility is heavy. But it is also the doorway to freedom. Because once you accept it, no one can take your power without permission. So remember this: when life presses in on you, you don't need to control the world. You don't need to control people. You don't even need to control events. Control your response. Because if you can't control this, your life will. This is the Stoic response, and calm is your rebellion.